Birdemic time!
I know. Why else would I be boringly walking down the street like that?
I thought it was Saturday Night Fever.
How would you ever get that?
Because I was watching The Reanimator.
What?
Starbright, my light so bright, starbright, gonna party tonight. Starbright, my light so bright, starbright.
Alright, this is Birdemic 2, which means this review is gonna be bigger and better. Right, Miss Tippy Hedren?
Twice the birds, twice the action, twice the sequel. Is that it?
You forgot twice the reviewers.
That doesn't make any sense.
Following the cult smash super success of Birdemic 1, you knew a sequel outdoing everything the first had done was never to surface, which is exactly what we got. Birdemic 2, The Resurrection. It's nothing the first movie was, and less.
That's where you're wrong, Phelanless. It's everything the first movie was. In fact, a lot of these scenes you'll recognize from the first film. So watch our Birdemic 1 reviews again. Bye!
Not funny. There is one important thing to know before going into this film. James Wan is very much still trying to make a legit film, not a farce. Knowing this will probably change your outlook on a lot of what's going on here.
The film is still pretty self-aware.
Sorta.
Kinda.
Maybe.
The producer, Jeff Gross, was pretty much in on the joke the whole time, which is part of why the film got made in the first place.
Which means a lot of the references are making fun of scenes from the first film, but other things are genuine attempts at making a good movie, so you get a weird mix of a sequel that's both self-aware and blissfully unaware.
This is pretty evident if you watch both sets of commentaries, one by the director and one featuring Jeff Gross, Alan Baugh, and Thomas Favaloro. While James Wan isn't particularly insightful, there's a stark difference between what the cast finds funny and what the director was actually trying to accomplish.
You might also notice it's a bit repetitious.
The movie opens with the Hollywood sign. So I live in Hollywood, and I know something about Hollywood. The character itself, it's based on partially on me, but other director that I've known, successful director. In Hollywood. I tried, because I live in Hollywood, 13 years living in Hollywood. The set here is the Hollywood Happy Ending. It's my favorite joint. I eat there a lot, I hang out there a lot, I live in Hollywood.
Hey Phelan, where does James Wan live?
Beats me. His life is so secretive. By the way, did you know that the new character Bill is based on James Wan? Because he's a director, and so is James?
James Wan basically films his own self-insert fanfics. Whereas his films in the past are about a computer chip / software salesman, this time the story is about a director. Because he's moved up in the world.
Well, he does live in Hollywood. Did you know that? Let us spare you how long this actually is. If you really want to know, though, it takes 4 minutes and 49 seconds before he actually enters this restaurant.
But we see such neat sights along the way, like blurry logos and things he wasn't allowed to show. What's the number? I don't know!
So this endless walk to the restaurant I thought was a joke about Rod's walk from the first movie, but it turns out James Wan was actually going for a Saturday Night Fever reference.
Well, the temp track was actually Higher and Higher, a track they totally could afford.
Darn, if they'd gotten in their temp track of that song that isn't in that film, it would have just screamed Saturday Night Fever. If they'd gotten some shots of his feet, maybe you could get the reference, but feet shots are hard. James Wen put a few subtle references to several films in the sequel. You might notice a couple for Sunset Boulevard. If you really pay attention, see it? Say it!
I'm sure that's the only one.
The restaurant he goes to is Hollywood, the Happy Ending, a restaurant James Wen frequents. So if you want to know all the hot spots James Wen goes to in a day, he sure put them in this movie.
Oh man, I am so gonna stalk him.
You're gonna stalk James Wen? James Wen?
What has my life come to?
I can live vicariously through my characters. I am so successful. I give myself $1 million and a 50% discount.
What the?
Pros for this movie? There's better equipment, and you can tell there's actually a crew this time. Cons? James Wen still doesn't know how to make a movie.
Those aren't cons! Why'd we put those back to back? I don't get it.
Yeah, the editor is definitely in on the joke.
What? So after Rod enters the restaurant, he meets Natalie.
You silly Billy Goosefuck! That's Bill and Gloria. So stop us if this sounds familiar, guys. A businessman on the verge of a big deal meets the gorgeous blonde of his dreams just before tragedy of stupid proportions strikes.
Yeah, but this would have been totally ruined if this girl were a brunette, like the actress actually is before James Wen made her bleach her hair.
Make her look exactly like every female lead I've ever had in any of my movies.
I think we all know who James Wen's dream girlfriend is.
Just hanging out with my family, having ourselves a party.
Hang on a second. Is that the script someone left on the table there?
I see a bird on the wall!
Can I get you some drink?
Yeah, I'll take a picture of Budweiser with 2 glasses.
Okay, I'll get you 3.
Excuse me, miss?
Yes?
This may be a coincidence, but you remind me of someone I used to know.
Really? What a coincidence.
You wouldn't mind telling me who you are?
Oh, my name's Gloria.
Hi, Gloria. I'm Bill. Are you an actress?
Yeah.
Whoa, this is so different. She's not only an actress, but a beautiful one too.
At a 50% discount. I'm glad James Wen got better equipment so he could put the background in focus. Who cares about that stupid Gloria fuck?
Nice!
So you're an actress. How come I've never heard of you?
Weird. Every actor who comes to Hollywood makes it.
Wait, do they?
I've seen actors come and go. As you know, that every year thousands of young talent people, they come to Hollywood, and you know, most will go home. I should say after 1 year, 90-something% will go home for whatever reason, not talented enough, too fat, too ugly, or whatever the reason. Gloria, the struggling actress, are based on people that I've known, actor, wannabe actor that I've seen come and go in Hollywood. This is my favorite scene in Birdemic 2, where Gloria is quitting Hollywood. She's been there about 5 years. It's based on real life with actors, people out there I know, where they come and go and they quit.
Oh, I'm starting to get it.
Well, I hope he tells us that 17 more times in the commentary. And also in the first Birdemic commentary.
I'm a movie director,
Great.
and I'm directing this movie called Sunset Dreams.
It's the porno version of Sunset Boulevard.
I really think you should audition for the lead role of Kim.
Hey, you think she'll get the lead role of Kim in his movie, Sunset Dreams?
I hope she gets the lead role of Kim in his movie, Sunset Dreams.
I really think you should audition for the lead role of Kim. I think you should audition for the lead role of Kim. If you audition for the lead role of Kim in my movie Sunset Dreams, I really think she'd do great as Kim in Sunset Dreams. We're offering you the lead role of Kim.
I would love to play Kim in Sunset Dreams.
Awesome. I think you'll be great as Kim.
What the hell was she auditioning for? Don't use that.
Give me a call and I'll get the casting director to set you up with an audition.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like a typical line before she's found murdered in an alley.
It's been a while since you went down with me.
Hey Rob, over here.
So here's the deal. Whitney Moore is the best actor in this.
She's pretty much on don't give a fuck mode through the whole thing. Just pay attention to her expressions. They'll turn any shitty scene into an instant classic.
You can tell from the commentary and from Whitney Moore's interviews that it wasn't clear if she was going to be back for the sequel, which explains why she doesn't have a lot of dialogue. But that also leaves room for her sweet improv.
It's been a while since you went down with me.
Oh no, she didn't!
Oh, this is my girlfriend Natalie.
Hi Natalie, nice to meet you.
Yes.
It turns out Wild Bill and Wooden Rod are old friends from college at a 50% discount, since this wasn't said in the movie, but in the commentary. All we know from the movie is they haven't seen each other in about 5 years or so.
Oh, Natalie instantly switches sides.
Hey Bill, remember when the eagles and vultures attacked?
The first movie still happened, right?
Look, exploding birds throwing the whole world into a giant bird apocalypse is just not that memorable.
You know, last time I saw you was at your Sundance premiere of your movie Four Seasons, which, by the way, swept Sundance.
Hey, remember when we went to see your movie at Sundance? Which, by the way, swept Sundance?
You're my hot Ferrari.
Yes.
I'm still amazed that Four Seasons did so well and won all those awards at Sundance.
I wish I hadn't.
Don't worry about it. Just keep at it, man. Trust me. Something good will come your way.
When did Wooden Rod become a real boy?
Yes.
I was so drunk and I was wasted at the after party. Remember that?
Yeah.
I hate you.
Some of Hollywood's greatest films are indies, like Vertigo, Citizen Kane, and Psycho, because they were produced independently.
Some of Hollywood's greatest films are independent because they're produced independently.
Independent on independent yours.
To auteur.
Don't worry about it.
Relevant comment to scene, Sundance.
Yes.
Did you get a chance to read my script?
You know, I don't know too much about the movie business, but I know how to read.
Suspension of disbelief broken.
You know, my favorite movies about Hollywood are Sunset Boulevard and A Star is Born. But these are two movies made from the studios. There's never been a movie made from the indie perspective.
Really? Because I'm pretty sure you just described every indie movie ever. Which, by the way, swept Sundance.
He might as well have said there's never been an independent movie featuring a protagonist losing their way in Hollywood and crying in the shower. Never seen that before.
Real fucking original, James.
So, how much money do you need?
$1 million.
I'll give you that and 50% discount. Can we close the deal today?
Sure, you got it.
Woohoo!
Yeah, but really, not so Wooden Rod gives him $100,000 of his soul panel money as long as he puts Natalie and their adopted son Tony in the film. Yeah, they adopted him.
I think you should audition for the lead role of Kim.
Or maybe you just give it to her. I won't give you the fucking money.
Yeah, I can see why Natalie is struggling so much trying to get into acting. Things must not be working out with Victoria's Secret after all.
Thanks a lot, man. Mr. Executive Producer.
I'm not wearing a watch.
A pastor has said it is an omen, a religious meaning, the end of days.
I can't understand her without extreme headroom.
Shh, she's talking about something super important to the plot.
5,000 birds fell from the sky and were found dead in Beebe, Arkansas, Kentucky.
This has nothing to do with the plot. It's not even tied to global warming.
Well, at least it let Wild Bill know that birds exist. Why did the cameraman reflections attacked? Oh, just what I was thinking I could go for. More of him walking.
Don't you remember seeing Rod creeping on Natalie down the street? Weren't you just thinking, I sure could go for Wild Bill and Gloria recreating that magic?
Throw in another Kim from Sunset Dreams and it's a deal.
If you audition for the lead role of Kim in my movie Sunset Dreams,
I don't think Wild Bill intended on giving that role to Natalie at all.
Well, it's not like he's offering it to Gloria just to hit on her.
if you audition for the lead role of Kim in my movie Sunset Dreams and don't get it, I will give you $1,000 to help you go home.
Never mind.
Oh, come on, don't give up that easy. You're so beautiful and talented. I can see that.
I can tell you're talented because back at the restaurant when I asked for 2 glasses, you got them to me.
She got him 3, apparently.
Well, shit, she's not talented at all.
I would not be surprised if someday there were a star for you on the Hollywood Star Walk of Fame.
Wait a second, let's take a closer look at that.
I would not be surprised if someday there were a star for you on the Hollywood Star Walk of Fame.
Do you think this means...
Leave Tippi Hedren alone, James!
This particular scene was originally written in my original script where I wanted to get Miss Tippi Hedren.
Wait, Gloria! Please don't go! Please stop! I'll make you a deal.
I love that it's hard to tell when a genuine mistake happens or someone's deciding, this scene isn't crappy enough.
Do you really love that?
Yes.
Do we have a deal?
Can I place your order today?
Okay.
Hey look, Rod's boss is back! Bill Stone!
Double bills! What does it mean?
It means James Wen can't think of that many names, isn't that right, Tony?
Please, don't bother me.
So Bill the First of software sales in Half Moon Bay is obviously looking to help produce movies now, due to him finally learning the meaning of life after the birds attack. Oh, I'm putting way more thought into this than the movie.
Wait, why the fuck is his old boss and the guy he sold soap panels to working together in the movie business now?
You think Rod is just one of those people who assumes you're best friends after you've met him once? Don't worry, I almost sold software to this guy. He'll help fund your movie.
You know, I'm really not interested. Please, don't bother me.
Woohoo! What's with all the noise?
Caught the big fish.
Didn't you hear what I just said?
How big was the sale?
$1 million.
So where are the topless chicks? Right, where are the sex scenes?
And there's no fight scenes, there's no blood, there's no guts.
But you paid your dues.
You failed repeatedly. I like that. Fund it.
We're making a movie!
I feel like this is a reference to something.
Oh, I love the retirement. I was a jeweler for 30 years, and sometimes I miss not going into the jewelry store, but, you know, I really like retirement.
To love somebody means to want to be with that person forever.
Forever?
Forever.
Wait, these aren't the auditions for Sunset Dreams, they're auditioning for Julie and Jack.
To love somebody is to want to be with that person forever.
Get out now, you fool! You want to get stuck in a computer?
Weird that he keeps trying to cast a beautiful blonde woman as Jack.
To love somebody is to want to be with that person forever.
That's so sweet, Jack.
Whose license plate is that?
Probably the same person who has a Hitchcock obsession and put his posters all over the movie. What does it mean?
Please be in my movie, Miss Tippy Hadron!
Please, don't bother me.
So anyway, fuck Natalie. Gloria's the new Natalie, so she got the part of Kim in the movie Sunset Dreams.
You mean Sunset Julie and Jack?
Hi, Gloria.
Run from the noise! It's catching up to you!
How about lunch tomorrow to celebrate your first major movie role?
Is this a pickup?
No, not at all. It's strictly business.
Okay, where?
In my bed!
I don't know.
I'm putting the business blankets on it!
Okay!
Woohoo! Caught the big bimbo!
I'm still on the phone.
I hear Madeline! Hey, remember the time Rod and Natalie went out for Vietnamese?
I know a good Vietnamese restaurant.
Vietnamese food? That's when you get Vietnamese food at a Thai restaurant.
I hope he moves the camera way too fast again, as if aboard a ship on the way to Failtown. So anyway, most of this dialogue is pretty boring, but it's notable that they start talking about Replica, James Wen's unreleased second film.
Early in my movie career, I made this movie called Replica, and I cast the perfect actress for it. She was talented and beautiful, just like yourself.
Is James Wen admitting he just keeps making the same movie over and over again?
Just release Replica already, you pieces of fucking shit! That's a good movie, Replica.
That is it. I am getting myself an unreleased film that is environmentally friendly.
For budget reasons, Replica was never completely produced. It fell apart and it was never released, and I've never been able to forgive myself for that. For not being able to help out that talented and beautiful actress. But casting you, that is my redemption for Replica.
Wow. Thank you so much for helping me with my movie career.
Gee, I wonder if Bill is supposed to be James Wen.
It's so nice of him to help out these beautiful and talented blonde actresses.
Especially Rod. He's my hot Ferrari.
What can I do to ever repay you for helping me out with my movie career?
Oh, a lot.
Montage is the best part of the movie though. Check out that 80s screening action.
This isn't the best part of the movie.
That is true.
It's nice that James Wen blurred the license plate, now that it's important, because the car is his, unlike that stupid Alan Baugh in the first movie.
So that's your that is your real car.
That's Alan's, yeah.
Yep. And your real license plate number.
No, it's not. Those stalkers, please.
Suddenly sunglasses!
And suddenly wind!
Had to keep my dream alive.
It's strictly business.
This soundtrack sucks. Let's change it to something better.
How foreboding!
You see the opening here, the music, it's very foreboding. I chose this music and it's very foreboding.
Blurred faces, Demic!
I'm infected!
Oh, lovers on the moon.
Yeah.
Oh, what an inconvenient coincidence.
You two are together now?
Oh no, we're just friends. We're just friends. I was just showing Gloria.
Well, at least someone was unconvinced.
Okay, so when James Wen needs to write someone out of a scene or a movie, his immediate solution is to have them take a shit.
He did it when Becky left Birdemic 1, so guess what happened when Whitney Moore got sick for this scene?
And what an important scene it is.
Yeah, you know, it's only the greatest scene in the film! It'll hear you. Now the Giant Jumbo Jellyfish.
Giant Jumbo Jellyfish?
Giant Jumbo Jellyfish.
Giant Jumbo Jellyfish.
Giant Jumbo Jellyfish.
Giant Jumbo Jellyfish, huh?
This scene might be where you think, yeah, Birdemic 2 was just done as a joke, but here's the amazing part. This wasn't. According to Jeff Gross, this turned out this way because it's what James Wen could afford to pay the animator.
Also, he actually forgot about the one part of doing animation. Actually animating it.
Well, you know, James Wen at least made sure to put the money he had into really important parts of the production.
Are you saying he wasted money? Well, at least this time there was probably enough money so Alan Baugh didn't have to sneak into James Wen's mother's house after she was asleep just so he could crash.
That's what you think. Why did you fly me back here?
'Cause I'm still mad you and Whitney hung out after hours on Birdemic. You could have ruined my movie with actual chemistry.
Really? Damn it.
Please, we need an ambulance now. A woman has been stung on the beach. What happened to her? I don't know, something about a giant jumbo jellyfish. Please, we need an ambulance now. Where are you located?
I need help. I'm watching a ridiculous movie.
What are you watching?
I honestly don't remember at this point. Something to do with a giant jumbo jellyfish?
Sounds like a Birdemic for sure.
By the way, if you're waiting for the scene to have relevance later on, you'll be waiting for the rest of your life. Literally!
There isn't even anything in the actual film to link this to the rest of the events, but of course Mr. Hollywood Director has an explanation.
To me, I think it's global warming.
Global warming. Is there anything it can't do?
That's it. I'm getting myself a jellyfish that's more environmentally animated.
Hey guys, what I missed?
Oh, good one, Natalie. Where were you with all your urine when we really needed it? That's too real.
Watch out. That ambulance is infected with painting flu virus.
After getting Tony out of the trunk, it's off to the La Brea Museum to see what he loves the most. Birds!
Hey, remember how birds killed your real family? Haha, do ya?
Thank you.
Whoa, guess we know why this movie's called The Resurrection. Welcome back to the world of the living, Rick!
Well, of course Rick had to come back. He had so much unfinished business.
A day without sex is a day wasted, man.
This is one of the more expensive locations in the movie, and admittedly, these are some of the best looking shots in the film.
Oh yeah, I like how yellow it is. Look at this amazing shot of him zooming in on a mammoth.
You're cynical is what you are.
So according to the commentary, they asked the actor who plays Tony to improv some lines to try and explain why Susan wasn't in this film. I have no idea what other explanations he came up with, but I'm certain they picked the best one.
I wish Susan could have been here to see this bird skeleton, but she got a disease from that fish that Rod cooked.
She's dead!
copy of Summer School.
Whoa!
Huh. Spider-Man on the moon. Yeah. Oh my god. A talking cat.
A talking cat?
No.
I've been waiting for this exhibit to open up.
Yes. I wish Doug were here to see this review. He got a disease from that to boldly flee that Rob cooked.
Hey, that's Dr. Jones. Who's Dr. Jones? Oh, someone I recently met.
He belongs in a museum.
Guess there was nothing else of note to say about him. Someone he recently met.
Do you really need anything besides he's an old guy on a bridge? Whoa, stand back. I don't want to share screen space with you.
Really? Damn it.
Dr. Jones, do you have any birds I can play with?
I love birds.
Well, I did save the ones that killed your family. They still got your mother's head in their talons.
Oh, sweet, I can't wait to play with them.
Pay close attention. Here is where the real acting comes into play.
I'm going to be speaking at a conference about prehistoric birds.
Prehistoric birds.
Prehistoric birds!
Birds are the descendants of dinosaurs.
Prehistoric birds. Prehistoric birds. Prehistoric birds.
Said, you ever wonder what Rick's ancestor did? Sex!
A day without sex is a day wasted, man.
No, really, that's Rick's ancestor. Nice tie in there, James.
It's a stunning feat to make blows this fake with birds you're animating yourself, but James Wynn found a way.
But there's no way they could have found a real part to film in.
Whoa.
Well, I've got to go. I'm speaking at the next session of the conference. It was nice seeing you all again.
Well, back in the trunk with you, Tony. We only paid to fly you out for one day.
Almost the Beach Boys, but not really.
Baywatch had the Beach Boys. Baywatch.
The Beach Boys would come to the flushing of a toilet, and they're still not in Birdemic 2.
I love that when Whitney Moore isn't being sarcastic in a scene, she just looks like she'd rather be anywhere else.
I wish all the other actors put in the same kind of effort. No, really, she's amazing.
I wanted to congratulate you on getting the lead role in Sunset Dreams. Thanks. I heard that you got a supporting role. Yeah, it's my first acting gig, so I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, clearly.
I can't help but feel like Whitney Moore had other stuff on her mind while they were shooting.
This seems like a metaphor for like the whole movie. It's
Yeah.
like all that work for...
And I think we're going
Wait, one more time, Whitney. What was that? This scene is a metaphor for the movie.
It's like all that work for nothing.
How foreboding.
That wasn't foreboding. Those birds were real. This was foreboding.
I know I'm set for glory. Nothing's gonna stop me now. It's my story.
Meanwhile, in someone's nasty basement...
Hey guys, by coincidence, my mother is vacationing in Catalina Island. She's gonna stop by and say hello.
Did someone say retirement?
Is this a surprise?
She said she was going to stop by. How is it a surprise?
You remember Rod?
Wait, that plank of wood was a person?
We met around the same time those eagles and vultures attacked, but we didn't check in on you.
I love it here in Catalina Island. I love the retirement. Rod and Bill, do you think you could give me a little role in the film? How about a feature role in the film? You know, I really like retirement.
Hey, whoa, wait, lady. Let's keep this professional.
I'll get the business sheets ready.
Oh, boy.
This seems familiar. Almost as if this happened in real life.
Do you think you could give me a little role in the film?
From a distance, you know.
And that's when Nat Mom drops the bomb that Natalie has a brother she never knew about the whole time. And he's stuck in a computer now or something. She can't really remember because...
You know, I really like retirement.
Ah, so Sunset Dreams is a biopic about her dead computer son. It's all coming together.
Holy shit.
Anything to add?
I think that pretty much sums it up. Holy shit!
Holy shit.
Now we see Damian Carter's career has skyrocketed since the first Birdemic. Before he was playing empty clubs, and now he's playing sold-out basements by the fuse box.
And now he's so big, there's only room for one man on the stage. No, seriously, there's only room for one man on this stage.
Stage. Holy shit.
I don't know what's better here, Natalie's awful dancing or all of the amazing extras. Just kidding, it's Nat Mom!
Girl, do the retirement!
I love the retirement.
James Wen got Damian Carter to write the song specifically for the movie because it's about being a star and some people don't make it in Hollywood.
Better get back to selling computer software.
Computer software, sometimes you get stuck in the computer!
That's why my light is so bright.
I have fun.
Wait a second, am I in a movie?
The Carters become self-aware!
Things are going really well again. Want to have dirty hotel sex? Just like everyone does.
Remember, this is strictly professional. At least I didn't get my feet dirty!
I think this scene is missing something.
I don't think there's anything else noteworthy about the scene to comment on.
Except for the boom mic falling over and the crew guy in the mirror there. Are you fucking blind? This scene is silent. They didn't even need the mic. Alright, time for the love scene.
I don't know about it.
Shut up, you.
Oh my! Right tickles. Oh god.
Oh my.
Oh god.
Oh well, I'm sorry.
a disease from that to boldly flee that Rob cooked.